All right, so this week what we're going to do basically is just create some subpages and make some custom headers and footers for our Divi site. So let's get to it. Subpages shouldn't be too much, but all right. So let's open up local, local by wheel. Select your site. Go ahead and start. Hopefully it goes pretty quick. I'm gonna click on Admin to open it up in Admin, and it's gonna open up in my web browser on my right. And I'm gonna wait a second. Problem loading it. There it goes. That was cool. Alright. Okay. Here we go. So, here we have a site. So I'm going to go to pages. What I ended up doing, because I don't know if you remember in the last one, I was having that weird thing where it was just yellow, like the text, and it wasn't the right size. So I click on pages. I'm just going to go ahead and click on view because I like to see the actual site. I just remade the site. So if you look at here, you'll see homepage old. I tried to fix it. Nothing I did. I would delete that component, make a new component. I would delete the whole row. Still would do it. I would delete a whole section. Whatever would happen, it would always move the yellow border background onto the next thing. It just overrode wherever it was. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that page was corrupted or something, but there's just nothing. So I just started completely fresh and made a whole new homepage that actually looks the way it's supposed to. So anyway, this is what we have. So what I want to do is just basically some sub pages out of this. So this is our home page. Let's just go ahead and make a new page. So we're just going to hit. I can do this one of ways. I can either add a new page and start completely fresh. If I don't want it to look anything like my home page, that's one way of going. I could also duplicate this page. So the reason we can do it right here is if we go plugins. Like the only plugin that we installed was that duplicate page. I typically like doing it that way just because that way I'm starting with settings of whatever I had. So if there were like certain things or certain colors and stuff, I could just use those instead of have to start fresh. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this. I'm going to click on the duplicate this, and it's going to make a duplicate. And you're going to see it's a draft. I'm just going to go quick edit and quick edit the name and stuffs. So we'll just do 2D work. All right, and we don't need a slug or any other stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and make it published, and we'll update. And then I'm just going to start working on this one. So it's kind of weird. It doesn't have the edit with Divi automatically in it. Huh. All right, we'll just click on 2D work, and then when it pops up, usually you have the little edit with Divi there, but it didn't. We'll just click on it when it pops up here. All right, so we'll just edit with Divi Builder. Going. And this is the exact same layout as the previous one. I'm just probably going to make a couple of minor things. I'm not going to do anything too nuts with it. I just want to have pages so that we can put our menu items in. I want to make this kind of a shorter video week just because we've been doing long ones, and I don't want it to be too crazy for you. So the top section here, I don't need a slider of all my stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and just delete that out. Okay. And then also, I'll leave the white section here because that's like the first section. But I'm going to change what's in here instead. Okay, so what we're going to do is just put, we'll add a new row just because it's a little bit easier to do it that way. And then we'll just say, let's go like this. We'll do a 3 row. And then it's going to ask for the first one, and let's just do a blurb. We'll use blurbs. There we go. And we'll just imagine these are different things that we're saying about it. I'm just going to say okay. I'm going to hit the checkbox. I'm going to go to this row now, and I'm just going to trash it. Okay. And all I'm going to do is just duplicate this. Duplicate, and I'll just grab this one over here. Give it a second. Okay. Grab this one, put this one over here. Alright, that looks good. And then over here, what I'm going to do is going to take this portfolio here, our featured work, and put it up there. So I'm just going to hover over this. I'm going to click, drag this. Oh, you know what? Actually, go back down. Alright, watch. It's going to be messed up, but I didn't do it. So I'm going to Control Z, or Command Z if you're on Mac, and we'll put that up there. So I'm actually going to take this whole row here and put this up here underneath this guy. And we'll just take this section and I'm going to delete that. And apparently I made it two separate, and delete this. Good. And then I'm just going to, over top of this, I'm just going to make this, I'm going to hit the settings and just make this white, just so that we can see it. Good. And then I'm going to adjust settings on this as well. And make sure that, make sure it's all title text. Here we go. And we're just going to make sure it's white so we can see it. Good. And then we'll go to meta text. And we'll also make that white. Let's click on this, and we'll do like not a pure white, but a really light gray, I guess. It's a little bit different. Okay. And we'll be good. And this other section, I'm just going to get rid of this whole section in general. I'm just going to hover over there and trash it, and voila. This will call our 2D work. But I'm actually going to change something else about this too. I'm going to go to the option box here. And you can see it's on 2D and 3D. I'm going to make it just 2D. This is my 2D page. And it should only show 2D in a second, because those are things. And while we're here, just to make it, because it doesn't fill it up very well, let's go to layout and let's do full width, which will make it much bigger, but just having two like that was kind of silly to me. So let's do that, and that should look a little bit better. There we go. And so now it's the full width of the images that are used for the featured images. And we'll call that good. And then I think I'm going to put a title up here too, just so that I know that this is my 2D, what did we call this one? I forget what I called it now. Called it something. 2D work. Okay. So I am above this just going to write like 2D work. So I'm going to add another section. We're going to make it full width. And let's do full width. I could do post title. Let's do post title. Because that way it's actually what our thing is. So elements, show title, yes. We don't want meta. I don't want featured image, and I didn't want the other thing. So it's just the title. I don't need any links, and I don't really care about having a background. Let's go to design, and let's do the title text. I want it to be centered, and I want it to be bold, and let's make it much larger. So we'll say like that, and I'll hit OK. And I'm just going to take this whole section, I'm going to grab it, and put it above the first section here. There we go. So now it says 2D work, and then it has this stuff. Okay, and I feel like that's a good enough page. That's good. So now we need to do is save it. I'm going to hit this little thing here and hit save. Okay, that will save it. Once that's done, I'm going to hit exit Visual Builder. And we're going to go to back to the dashboard. Now I'm going to go to pages. And I'm just going to duplicate that page and just change it real slightly. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this. And you can probably guess what we're going to do. I'm going to do quick edit, and we're going to call this 3D work. 3D work, and we're going to switch it to published. And that looks good. Update. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to do the same thing again for whatever reason. So click on the page. Edit with Divi. And all we're going to do is just change a couple of things. You probably heard what they're going to be. Obviously, like the title, and then we're going to change the categories for this. So, we actually don't have to change the title. So originally I was just going to make it like a header, and then we put the title in there, but because it's based off the post title, and the post name is 3D work, so that works pretty good. We're just going to leave that. The only thing we've got to change basically is this, our portfolio here. So I'm just going to change the settings so that instead of 2D, it's 3D. And it'll just show our two 3D pictures instead. Yay! And then we'll hit save. Okay, and I'm just going to go down here and actually save the page. All right, so now we have something to work with as far as like doing the menu. So what I want to do is cover how to do just a couple of things to make a custom header, custom footer. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Exit Visual Builder. Great. Okay, that looks acceptable. Now, yeah, so let's go to, so one thing we can do, and this should be done generally earlier, is basically we have a couple options on how to do the general adjustments. So if we go to the dashboard, we already did this earlier, it's like the first thing we did, but I just want to read. If you go to the Divi and then theme options, it's going to bring up this section up here where you can choose the logo you want to use for your site, and you can choose your logo, whether it's fixed, all these defaults, what your default palette going to be, these things, right? So they can all be chosen here, and we already did this in the beginning. We didn't go nuts with it, but you can look through it and just make the choices that you think would be best. And then we go from there. So I'm actually going to do what I want you to do is go ahead and find a logo that you would mind using for your site, for your logo, because I didn't put that in there before. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm just going to grab this guy from my Teach Me Cone. I'm just going to right click over top of them and save image as. And I'm just going to save it to dot. It says cropped cone logo. That's fine. We'll just save it right to there. So you could just go to my site if you want to use that, or you can find a different image for your logo. I don't really care, but I'm just going to save that as my logo. Okay, so now for the logo, I just want to go ahead and upload that. And let me see, upload files. You can drop and drag it into here, or you can do it the way I'm doing it right now. Desktop, and it should be cone. Where are you? Cone logo cropped. Where are you? I draw a lot of cones, it looks like. There's, boop, we're going to use that. And that'll be my logo, and we'll set the logo, okay? That's the only thing we didn't do last time that we kind of needed, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to save. I'm not going to really worry about any other stuff. So that's the first thing you should do, just to make sure that it looks okay. The other thing you can do is, if you go underneath this, there's also the theme customizer. You can also get to it here, where you'll see theme customizer. So I'll do it here. It's just going to open up the front end, and you're going to see the customizer thing on the left that you typically would see. You would just want to go through. I think I kind of went through this before earlier real quickly, but just go through here and just adjust the various settings. There's nothing really new here. They just have their own options. Again, it's not, you just literally, you can see what the options are and what they're doing. There's not really all that much to it. Like, for instance, site identity. Oh, I didn't change that at all. So let's do that real quick. So we'll just say, for site title, can I do it or no? Come on. There it goes. Cone Productions. Oh, we did do this work because I learned about Divi. And I'll say, I don't know. We make stuff. Okay. All right. So we do all those settings there. So let's select the site icon. We could do that as well. I didn't do that last time. I probably just used the same logo. Because you see up here, I don't have one. So I can do that there. Anyway, you know what to do with that stuff. So I'm just going to exit out of that. You go through and change those various things. What I'm more interested in is I'm going to show you how to do the menu, which you already know how to do, but we're going to do something a little bit different with it. So I'm going to go to Appearance. We're going to make our menu first. So go to Appearance Menus. And we need to create a new one. So right off the bat, it doesn't let you do anything. You have to create one. And I usually just call it my main menu. And then we'll hit Create. And we're going to make it our primary menu. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add these three things. If you hit view all, if they don't show up, you'll see homepage old. It's only a draft. I don't want that in there anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and I just want those three that we have made. If you want to put custom ones in there, so like let's say one thing's going to link to like your Facebook or something like that, you could put a Facebook button. Here's the URL. Here's the link text. But we're not really worried about that. Add menu. Voila, I'm going to put homepage up front. I also, it's lowercase. I'm going to make that just a capital, just because I think that's a little bit better. Homepage 3D, 2D, that was good, and we will save the menu. Is it doing it? I don't know if it did or not. There it goes. I didn't see anything moving up there. Okay. Now, if I go ahead and I refresh this, it should, I think, by default automatically populate this, but I'm not sure. Let's see. because it's the only menu that we have, it's going very, very slow. It's taking its sweet, sweet time. There we go. So automatically populated it for us, but and that's fine. But it's still better to make sure that it's exactly what you want. The reason why I did that was because I made it the primary one, so it knows that's the main one. But we're going to do something a little bit different. So there's another option in Divi where you can do theme builder. So select that. The way that basically WordPress works is it's a sandwich. It has two pieces of bread and the meat in the middle. Okay. The top piece of bread is your header, which is basically, it's typically just this thing up here, the nav bar, but sometimes people have other things in there as well. And it's a footer on the bottom piece of bread, okay? And then you have all the content, your meat, in the middle, okay? And that's pretty much how you're going to see, that's how WordPress works. It has a header, the main page, and then the footer, okay? Now, right now, these are being populated by the theme itself, okay? But we made the meat here. But this is like right now it has this default setting. And we probably change this, I think, in the customizer. But this is, again, gets changed in the customizer. But if we want to do something like real specific, we can do that. And that's actually what I'm going to do next, is we're going to make a custom header. And that's going to populate on all of them. And we're going to make a custom footer. I definitely don't like this. And the reason why I'm doing a custom header is, for one, I can do something really cool. But in our case, I'm going to say, I'm sure you've probably gone on a bunch of websites and it'll have like what the normal heading looks like the nav bar cost, and then it has, store out may be different because of COVID. I'm going to put that on ours. So by default, there's not an option to do that. There's no option to put something in there. Now we have other ways we could do it too, but this is just another way. So you can see right here it says add global header, global body, and global footer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a global header, and we're going to build a global header, and it's going to straight up just bring me right into the Divi workspace here. And it's kind of like building a page. Basically what it's going to do is whatever you make here, that's what's going to be on the very top. I don't want to use any of these things. We're just going to build from scratch. And I don't care what you do. Just click on this one and whatever. Divide. It honestly doesn't matter. To pick something, hit OK. Because the problem is it doesn't give you the option, but it makes you start off with a standard section, and I actually want to do a whole width section. I don't know why it doesn't give you that option to start with. It just doesn't. So just whatever it ends up being, whatever. Then we're going to click on this, and I want to do a full width. And we're going to do a full width menu. And here, this is why we had to make the menu first. It would just say select menu. This is main menu. So it's the only, if we had other menus, we could put those up there as well. But now that's there. I'm going to come back to this in a second. I just want to fix some of those stuff. So up here, this section up here, I'm just going to go ahead and trash it. And now this is up on top, which is what I wanted. Okay. Let's go ahead and add another piece onto this. So since this is kind of going to be the name nav bar, I'm going to go ahead and make another section. We will also do another full width. And we're just going to do full code, which basically means we're just going to literally write the HTML that's going to go across in here. So what I want to do is, luckily enough, we know HTML. We're just going to do a P element. I know it doesn't even give you text. It's and we're just going to say COVID-19 update. Please click here for the latest about our COVID policy. Okay, great. So now what I'm going to do is I want that to be centered, so I'm just going to go to design. We could do it in there too, but it's just easier to use this text. And I don't know why this is the only option. Great. Let's go back to content, and I want to have a background color. I'm just going to go ahead and do red because I want it to stand out. But you see this is black, right, or dark gray. It doesn't really read very well, so it'd be better if it was white. But you'll notice there are no options to do that. I don't know why. It isn't. So I'm just literally inside of this thing. I'm just going to go ahead and put. You find that when you're doing WordPress stuff, depending on what you're trying to create, you have to write a lot of inline CSS. So I'm just going to go ahead and write one in here. Style. I probably use the advanced CSS too, but I'm just going to put here. And we're just going to say color white. Okay. That way it's just white. The other thing I want to do is I want that when you click on it, it's going to do its thing, right? So I am going to look up COVID-19 policies, and I'm gonna click on this guidance. I don't know. I just want to have something, so I'm just gonna grab this just so I have something. I don't care what you put in there, just have a link, and then Control V. All right. Now when I hover over, it'll act as a link, and I think that's all I want. Let's go like that. I'm gonna click on this, and we're gonna save. Now this is kind of thick, but I think it's. I think when we view it, it's going to be smaller. But if it isn't, we'll come in here and fix it. I'm going to close out of this at the little X, and you have to tell it to save the changes. I have a lot of things. Okay, let's go here and hit refresh, and you're going to see. Hopefully, it should pop up right here. There it is. COVID-19 update. Blah 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 blah, and our custom menu. But obviously, our custom menu kind of looks like junk. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. So let's go back to this. The little pencil to edit it. And menu. Come on, menu. Killing me, Smalls. Oh, just so you're aware too, when you hover over it, you see it's a link. So that's why we made it a link. Okay, good. So let's go over here and let's just adjust our menu here. We have that. We have logo, right? So let's go ahead and just add that logo that I uploaded earlier. So let's grab that guy. There he is. We have the elements here. Show shopping cart. Let's go ahead and show a search. Okay, actually, let's not show a search. I'm a big fan of search in general. The links. These are all fine. I don't want a background. Don't want anything to do that. We'll call that good. Let's go to design, and now we can do layout. So we do left align. Right now the drop downs are going to go. We're already drop downs, but they would drop down, but you can do upwards too. Left align. Let's go ahead and just do centered. Okay, so I think that looks a little bit better. Menu text. So if I want to change the color, do the active link and the menu link. The menu is probably the one that you want to adjust because that's the default. And icons, we're not really using any right now. The logo, I don't really round it. Is there a size in here? Have a size for the logo. Anyway, we'll call that good now. I don't really care. But you can play around with these adjustments and stuff like that. I'm going to call that good, and we're just going to go ahead and click on this and save. And now this is what's going to be our header for all of ours, which is really cool because normally, you have to go with whatever settings are there, right? But I could write some custom CSS and stuff in here. I could really wrangle this to what I want it to be, and it will automatically populate everything, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of this, and that's good. And all the changes are saved. Let's just hit refresh, and hopefully it'll look creme fresh. Let's see. I don't like how big the icon was, but there it is. Yay! All right. So the next thing I want to do is I want this not like this. This is terrible. So luckily enough, there's an option. I'm not going to do anything with the body because the body we're making anyway. But if you wanted to add some elements to the body, you could do that as well. But like that you probably want it to be in the header or footer, right? So, or you would make a library item and then you could just plop it in where you want it. I don't see much the use for that. But anyway, add global footer. We're going to build a global footer. Now this time I'm actually going to go ahead and use, we're going to build from scratch. I am going to use what they have here. I'm going to do a tour here. And we will just do text. And I'm just going to write, copyright Cone Productions, right? So, yay, copyright Cone Productions. And we will call that good. And then over here, I'm going to put a menu. So we'll do menu. And we're going to use the main menu. And let me see. I don't want a logo. That's fine. I do want to... Where was that? Link? No. I do want to add the search icon this time, just because this is going to go on the bottom. So if you're really trying to search for something like that, you can put it on the bottom. I think that looks okay. And we'll call that good. But I would like the bottom here, instead of white, I want to make it like a dark black or whatever. So I'm going to go to the settings on this whole section and just do background. And I'm going to click on this, see what my color options are. I'm just going to do a dark gray. And that looks fine to me. But obviously there's kind of an issue with some of these things. So you can see this is too, you can't see it, right? So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Click on this, grab the text here, and let's just do a midway. Okay. I want this to not stick out a bunch, and then we'll go over here, and we're going to go background, and I'm going to give it no background, so that there's no background. Just click on that. And then I obviously need to change the color, so we're going to go to design here, and we're going to do what we were saying before, menu text. And I don't really care about that one much. This one I do, and we just want to make this basically a nice mid-gray. That's roughly the same color as that. That looks acceptable. Okay, the icon's that weird blue color, so there's actually an option for that as well. Drop down menu, icons. Here we go. So search icon, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this, and we will also make that gray. That way it doesn't stand out. If I had to put a color, I could put a color in there as well. Yeah, we'll call that good. All right, and you know, again, I could go a lot farther and do all sorts of things, like maybe put like my mobile, you know, like maybe even have a different like another menu underneath this menu that's a menu of my social media or something like that, right? A lot of times you see social media on the bottom. I'm not gonna worry about it right now, but just showing you how to do it. Click on this, and hopefully, come on, and we'll save it. Give her a second. Close this out. Save changes. It's weird, it doesn't save. It'll save the changes once it's made every time you change it, but it doesn't change it the first time. So anyway, look how bad this is. Let's hit refresh. And voila, much better, right? Doesn't have all that extra business in there. Now I have these other options, and we have our site up here. And if we go to any one of these, this will be there for all of them. So it's nice because you can, like I said, you can make like a supremely customized header and footer of whatever you want. And that's it. So just get that done this week and be thinking about what you want to do for your final project. Make something cool, all right? But you'll be using Divi, so you'll be using the same system. But you can kind of go wherever, you know, build it however you want. The more you try to customize it, the better.